What is going on, everybody? We are live here on the Jets Roundtable. I'm joined by Mr. Matt O'Leary himself. We got Jake Asman next week, this Thursday, to go over everything with these New York Jets. We're coming off a devastating loss, Matt. What the heck was that? I mean, what's happening with this team? Why do they find new ways to break our hearts? Welcome back, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, all things considered. It was definitely a tough one, Richie. It looked like it was headed towards another blowout loss in week 3. And unfortunately, they come back and take a late lead, but unable to hold on. And like you said, just heartbreaking fashion seems to be the way for this Jets football team.
It's like they can't just lose. I mean, they did last week, but man, what a way to lose. We have to go deep into this game and really talk about everything with this football team. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe here to Jets Roundtable, a brand new YouTube channel that we were trying to get as many Jets fans tuned on in to this show, even though we have a lot of non-Jets fans tuning into at least my content, laughing at me because I'm a Jets fan, apparently. They like to laugh at my misery. But hey, man, maybe one day they'll be applauding my excellence as a Jets fan, meaning that we're winning. Okay, but that's not the case. Matt, let's start off with this. What was going through your mind when you saw Will McDonald leap over that line of scrimmage and block that field goal for the touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, initial reaction, I leaped off the couch and couldn't believe what happened there, what I saw. It looked like, they were setting up a field goal to go up 9 points, and that pretty much would have ended the game. The Jets would have had to score, at least 10 points to get back into it with, 2 minutes left in the game. Seems very unlikely. But the Jets, Will McDonald, unbelievable play. When I saw him leap over the line, I was like, oh my God, he's going to have a chance for this. And then block it in the scoop and score. It was a wild swing of emotions. But, I won't lie to you. There was a part of me, like, after that initial euphoria of the play, which if you didn't get excited after that one, like, I don't know, you might have to get checked out because I just don't know how you can't get excited over it. But I'm not going to lie. I did take a peek at the clock and go, there's a lot of time for this Bucs offense, man, to march their way down the field. So came back to earth a little bit, but what a special moment.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I felt. And I think that the weird thing about that moment for me, Matt, was during my live watch party, I had Red Zone on, and I see the Eagles block the field goal and return it for 6 to win the game. And I just started jumping on that train. I'm like, how could plays like that never happen for the Jets? That's what we need to happen right here, right now. Go make it happen. Go block the field goal and return it. And I kept saying that like literally 10 times. I sounded insane. I'm like, they got to do it. The Eagles can do it. The Jets can do it. How come the Jets can't pull off a play like that? We're going to do it. Block this field goal and return it for 6. And then they did it. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I was saying all these things, Matt, but I didn't believe, I didn't actually think they're going to do it.
No.
They did it. And I'm just like, what? Oh, my gosh. You're on cloud 9. The Jets are going to win this game. And in my mind, I'm like, we won the game. We just kicked the field goal. We had the lead. We won. And then I see the clock. And then I see Baker Mayfield walking out. I'm like, oh, my God, we did not win the game. What am I saying? We lost the game because they're going to give it up. Because the defense, Matt, can't do anything in the clutch. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with this defense, man? The offense at least stepped up in the fourth quarter and showed some type of pulse, right? And I commend them for that. They did not have a good game. Tyrod Taylor's pick 6 was backbreaking. The first 3 quarters was trash. But then the fourth quarter comes around. Garrett Wilson gets a touchdown. You're like, is that garbage time? I mean, there's 10 minutes left. That's not technically garbage time. The defense gets a stop somehow. The offense goes back down the field, gets another touchdown on 4th and goal to Allen Lazard. Lazard was this close to dropping it. And then the miracle happens, man. And the defense, Matt, could have had one of those games where they're bad all game long, but then comes in and makes the winning play, but they don't. Andre Sisco gets beat, and then you call a all-out zero blitz that not even disguising a pre-snap. They know to get the ball out quickly to Shepard. They miss tackles, and the rest is history. What is wrong with this defense, man? Like, I'm honestly shocked how bad it is, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, how much time do you have? We could be here a while talking about this. There's a lot of issues with this Jets defense. Starting with, I'll start up front and work back. Defensive line, I thought Quinnen Williams and the interior defensive line played well. Phillips and Briggs and Quinnen, I thought they all had a good game. Will McDonald at the end had a really nice play. on the field goal. But they have a problem without Jermaine Johnson at edge. They have zero depth beyond the top two guys. And without Jermaine Johnson, that was clearly an issue. It was frustrating to me. And I know there were a ton of penalties, which helped out the Jets, but with 3 backup offensive linemen, they only had 1 sack on Baker Mayfield. Like that was something I was hoping to see the Jets tee off on him a little bit more. The linebackers, Quincy Williams got hurt. He was playing a pretty good game, arguably his best of the season, I thought anyway, before he got hurt. Jamian Sherwood's been not himself. Like, I don't know. I guess he looked a little bit better in this game in comparison to the first 2 weeks, but I think they still need more out of him. Sauce leaves the game with an injury, and he wasn't having his best day. Brandon Stevens has been an issue. Michael Carter hasn't looked like himself, and the safety play isn't very good. So it's really all across the board here where guys are struggling at each level of the defense.
So let me ask you this, Matt. You talked about the personnel. Now talk about the coaching on defense with Steve Wilks. Is it the scheme? Because this same personnel, I mean, last year was just throw it in the garbage. I mean, I don't even know what happened last year. But we've seen a similar defense with the similar players play very good defense. And now you had a new coach here with Steve Wilks in a brand new system. Could it be a schematic issue, or is it a talent issue, or is it both?
I do think it's a little bit of both. Honestly, it's tough. It's definitely tough right now. The thing that I would like to see, which I don't know if we're going to see anytime soon, I think Aaron Glenn needs to take over the play calling on defense. And I know it's only 3 games in, and I don't want to be too reactionary, but you talked about it on that zero blitz. Steve Wilks just feels very predictable right now. And, you know, maybe it's not to the extreme of Glenn taking over the play calling right this minute, but I do think he has to get more involved because they have just been week after week, they've struggled. And, you know, they let up, I guess, defensively, 22 points, right? Because there was a pick 6 to add the 7 against the 29, which is an improvement. But when you tack on, like, they had 3 starting offensive linemen out. Emeka Buka was playing at like 50%. Mike Evans leaves with an injury. Baker Mayfield was clearly, his right hand was bothering him a lot throughout the game. And it was like they had to scratch and claw and fight to just allow 22 points. So it's an issue for this team. And if they don't get it right, it's going to be a really long season.
And not to mention the amount of penalties the Bucs had that we couldn't take advantage of. I mean, it was ridiculous. Now, there's a sequence in this game, Matt, that happened that I was really pissed off about. I went to X about it, and people took my take the wrong way. I personally was upset that the Buccaneers got called for holding, and instead of the Jets declining the penalty and bringing up 4th down, they accepted it. Not once, but twice. And I sent out an X post. Why are the Jets accepting these penalties and not declining them? I understand the reason for it. I understand the strategy. The strategy is to knock them out of field goal range. But I don't know about you, Matt. I don't have confidence in the Jets on 3rd and long. Even if it's 3rd and 85, I don't have confidence. Like, bring up 4th down so they can either get 3 points or off the field and not a touchdown. That's my mindset. That's what the Jets have brought me to. So that's why in those moments I was getting a little frustrated that Aaron Glenn was not declining the penalty and just bringing up 4th down and let them kick a long field goal instead of knocking them out of field goal range. Because what happens then on 3rd and 29? Up flag and they get an automatic 1st down. I mean, that's what I'm talking about right there. That whole sequence, I was getting so pissed because I'm traumatized as a Jets fan to the point where I have no confidence in them getting a stop on 3rd down. And obviously, you can nitpick that penalty. Maybe it was a bad call. Who cares? The call was the call, and the Jets got the 1st down. I mean, why are we so bad on 3rd down, bro? 3rd down defense is the issue because on 1st and 2nd down, they're not trash. But 3rd and 9, they let Baker Mayfield spin around and pick up the 1st down on his legs. I mean, it's just so mind-boggling how bad this Jets defense is on 3rd down.
Yeah, that's a great call out, the 3rd down defense. While you were talking, I was trying to see if I could pull it up and how they were on 3rd down efficiency. Apparently 4 of 13. It felt a lot worse than that. I would have guessed the Bucs converted more than just 4 out of 13 on 3rd down, to be completely honest with you. But I personally, I understand where you're coming from with the decline the penalty and just make them go out and kick the field goal. I understood why they were doing it, and I was okay with that because eventually it gets to a point. It was 3rd and 29. Like, don't give up a big play, man. That's really all that it takes. They were trying to knock him out of field goal range. It ended up backfiring, but it didn't turn into a touchdown, which was, I guess, a positive. It kind of, I feel like, was a net neutral, right? Because if they just declined, they would have kicked the field goal. They ended up with the field goal anyway, so it didn't really swing me one way or the other. But in the moment, I was kind of with them on it. I thought it was the right move to try to push them out of field goal range because, look, the Bucs have a good offense, and I thought points would be hard to come by in this game. So I didn't mind the aggressive nature there from Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, and I guess that's just me relapsing and being traumatized and not trusting the team on 3rd and long. I guess that's where it comes from me as a fan of this squad, where I just don't trust them in those situations, which is sad because you're right. You should be able to get a stop on 3rd and 29. Like, it shouldn't be rocket science. It should be able to be easy, but not this Jets football team. They make the difficult or the easy look difficult, which is unfortunate. Now, let's evaluate Tyrod Taylor and the offense here. They looked really bad in the first part of the game. The offensive line is taking a step backwards. The run game is abysmal all of a sudden. After the first week, it was like, we're on cloud 9. The offense looks great. Breece Hall, 100-plus rushing yards. Everything's great. And now our run game, back-to-back weeks, just lays an egg. Tyrod gets beat up all game, doesn't look great, gets the pick six. Right when that pick six happened, I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's a backbreaker, bro. Like, you cannot give up that. And then they show life. And then you're like, wait a second. They're pushing the ball. They got Garrett Wilson. They got Lazard. They score 14 unanswered points. And then they still lose. But what was your evaluation of the overall offense? Because from my perspective, Matt, we know this, but man, oh man, we do not have a weapon outside of Garrett Wilson. Every time Tyrod drops back to pass, it's like he looks at Garrett, he's covered, and then he just either runs or gets sacked or throws it away. There's no other alternative than throw it to either Garrett Wilson or you don't throw it at all.
Yeah, they did get it to Garrett early and often in this game. And I love to see Garrett get in the end zone and have 10 catches and go, have a big productive day, obviously. But you're right, there isn't anybody else right now on the roster you feel great about in the passing attack. And, it wasn't a pretty Tyrod day. And I'm not going to, play revisionist history and say like it was a great day for the offense. But I did want to give Tyrod some credit because I thought it was a gutsy performance with the amount of hits that he took. And he was just standing in the pocket and delivering throw after throw after throw. And the interception was bad and the fumble was bad. I'm not, taking anything away from that. But, in the fourth quarter, they made a couple of big plays and they got the team back in the game. And as a backup quarterback, I think that's about as good as what you could possibly anticipate the kind of performance you'd get from him. But you're right. Like, outside of Garrett Wilson, who the hell is it? Josh Reynolds is out and apparently they just can't function on offense now. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, and also we have Tyler Johnson dropping passes. I mean, come on, Tyler. He had a big one the next time the ball was thrown his way. But Alan Lazard almost dropped it. Josh Reynolds injured. How about Arian Smith? I mean, can we use him somehow? I mean, we tried last week, and that didn't work with the end around. I mean, where's Mason Taylor? I thought this rookie was going to be, like, solid. Not great right away, but at least impactful. He did have a good catch over the middle, whatever. But what about the running backs? Like, I'm watching Jonathan Taylor go off. I'm watching Bijan look like a superstar. Saquon, even James Cook. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but are we still just overrating Breece in our brains as Jets fans, thinking he's – because that's what I do. Like, I put Breece in that category, and I guess I just shouldn't. Or is it the offensive line? Like, there's all these different situations. So what's your evaluation of Breece Hall as an individual? Are you blaming the offensive line? Because I think, of course, you got to hold the offensive line accountable. When you block for Breece, he's a dog, but not the case.
Yeah, I don't think it was as dominant of a performance from the offensive line that we saw in week one. I know Tyrod got hit a bunch and they couldn't get anything going really on the ground with Breece, but I don't think they were horrendous blocking. I honestly think that after week one, we saw both Buffalo and Tampa Bay really adjust. And I don't know if Tanner Engstrand has really learned how to counterpunch yet. Like, both Buffalo and Tampa Bay felt like they were sending the house and blitzing. And it wasn't that the Jets weren't winning their one-on-one reps blocking. There was just, too many guys coming and they didn't have an answer for it. And that's kind of where I've been the last 2 weeks. I think they did a good job. Buffalo, that is, last week in sending the corners on early downs because they knew the Jets were going to run. And then this week they were clogging up all the holes with Todd Bowles all out blitz. And then when they were throwing the ball, they'd be in the backfield almost immediately. So it was working, and the Jets just maybe, like you said, it's the lack of weapons, right? Like you have Garrett Wilson and nobody else. If they had somebody else that they could utilize in this offense, maybe it's easier for them to break through and create some plays in the passing game.
Any concern on the offensive line individually from guys like Olu Fashanu? I don't think has had a good start to the season. Armand Membu looks great, but I don't know if there's anybody else individually on this offensive line that stood out. Personally, I mean, Olu, there's a lot of times where he just looked like bad. I mean, just got absolutely torched. I mean, what's your evaluation of Olu Fashanu in his first 3 starts to this season?
Yeah, I think the last 2 have been particularly tough for him. I don't know if I'd go as far to say that I'm concerned yet, but I do think he needs to get better. I think the left side of the line could be better. I think Tippmann and Membu have probably played the best over the course of the 3 games in totality. But it's hard, especially when, in this game, it felt like Todd Bowles was sending the backside blitz a lot. So it was up to the left side of the line to combat that, and they weren't able to. So, yeah, they need to get better. I do think it's right to highlight that as an area that we need to see some improvement from. But I'm not worried about him long-term, I guess.
Yeah, me neither. I just hope that he can have a big bounce-back game and start showing that franchise left tackle that we're all hopeful Olu Fashanu to become. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button. We appreciate it. We got Rich in the house, Barney, Billy, Patriots fans tuning in, JC's in the house, Johnny, Hennessy Heisman always tuning on in. A two-and-ear is here. Tua thrown for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns. We shall see. I was at that game, Matt, as you know, in Buffalo.
Yeah.
For the Roundtable, man. It was an experience to be there as a Jets fan in Buffalo without the Jets playing, so I had no reason to be there other than for the Roundtable, of course. But why don't you give us your thoughts of that? Let's pivot a little bit to some AFC East talk. What are your thoughts about that Dolphins-Bills game? That was a very competitive, and we got to take on the Dolphins in a week from tonight. What was your thoughts about that game between the Bills and the Dolphins?
Yeah, I definitely was surprised with the fight that Miami gave Buffalo. I didn't think it would be as close, and ended up being a 10-point win for Buffalo, but they were in it for a while in this game. And, for Miami's side, it came down in crunch time. It was another Tua turnover. That's been an issue for them this year, the turnovers from Tua. And, we've seen him put up big numbers in the past, right? A couple years ago, he was one of the top passers in the NFL, but turnovers are a big problem. The Jets haven't created any turnovers yet this year, so you can look at it one of 2 ways. Either one, hey, this is the game where you're finally going to get your turnovers, or on the more negative side, this Jets defense can't create any turnovers. If they don't cause one against Tua, that might be enough for the Dolphins to go out and win this game. They ran and Miami ran the ball well too. So definitely going to give their run game credit. They gave Buffalo a good fight. They're 0-3, just like the Jets are. 2 0-3 teams on Monday Night Football. Pretty gross. But yeah, they definitely played Buffalo tighter than I thought. And those clips that you were tweeting out was just giving me so much life, man.
You did see those?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. His reactions are just all time, man. I
really are.
Can't get enough.
I was stressing out, Matt, because there was no service at all. I could have been posting way more clips, but I was sitting there recording something, and then I would click post, and it would take so long. Oh, my God. I was so pissed off. You guys have no idea how much my vision for covering that event live got thrown out the window because there was just no service. You're connected to Wi-Fi. It doesn't work out. I would have got so much more out there. But if you missed, I'm happy that you saw the clip. I got to play it here because this is one of those all-timers. We're always tuning into TD's reactions when he's at home, but how about this one when we're actually together? I mean, I got a great shot of the interception of Tua, and then it cuts right to TD's reaction.
Between Dan going nuts and then TD's reaction, it's incredible.
Oh my gosh. I was trying to get us to see his face. He wouldn't pick up his face. He's crying underneath there. You know what I said to him after this game? Now, there's a reason why I said this. I said, it's all right, TD. You still got Zach Wilson. Now, if you know, TD said that to me the moment Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles.
Oh, okay. See, yeah. You know, you got to give it right back to him. You were holding on to that for 2 years, and you finally got your moment.
I was like, it's all right, TD. At least you got Zach Wilson backing up to man, that's exactly what I had to say, man. But, man, shout out to TD. Shout out to Dan. And shout out to the entire, Bills Mafia was great. I'm not going to lie. Great hospitality. The stadium, Matt, that they're building is pretty sick.
Yeah, it looked awesome. Man. I can't wait for that thing to open.
Man, you should definitely come through to if we do a Jets Bills. We're definitely going to do a Buffalo event next year. We don't know, of course, if it's going to be a Buffalo or if it's going to be the Jets playing or not. Hopefully, I'm hoping that it could be a Jets Bills game that we can go up there. But man, that stadium looks crazy already for next year. Man. We shall see. Screw the Bills, though, man. I'm sick of their arrogance and their just dominance, and I'm just sick of everything about them. How about that? Can I just get that off my chest?
No, that's totally fair. They've owned this division. It feels like they're going to cakewalk to another easy division win, which is just...
Oh, God. And they just have this mindset, man. I went to college up there, so I'm very familiar with Bills fans. And when I went to college up there, it was the Sam Darnold and Josh Allen era where they first got drafted. And I was like, yeah, Sam Darnold's better than Josh. I was proven wrong, of course. But it's just they have this arrogance to them and their overall confidence and just they're like, oh, I'm rooting for the Jets, man, because they're not afraid of us.
No,
they're rooting for us because they feel bad for us. I hate that. We're their little brothers. Oh, we're rooting for you, buddy. Hopefully you can shut up. You know what I mean? I don't mean that. I respect Bills fans. They're very awesome. They are awesome. I really do love them. But man, it's frustrating.
No, it definitely is, and especially the fans who were there and watching JP Lossman and Trent Edwards take snaps for them, all the respect in the world. I know what it's like to watch shitty quarterback play and to only dream of have someone as good as Josh Allen. The bandwagon stuff is what gets me. I see people on my Instagram posting about Bills wins. There's no way you were watching Bills games in 2016. Do you know who Tyrod Taylor is? Come on now.
Yeah, you know who Stevie Johnson is?
Yeah.
Who we happened to interview, which was cool. But another thing about Buffalo, and then we'll move on, that entire city is Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah.
It's a small football town. They got nothing there but the Bills. No offense. They got Bills and chicken wings. That's it. That's what the identity of the city is. It's you go around Orchard Park, it's just Bills everywhere, and I respect that, man. And, I went to Green Bay for the NFL draft, and that's the same type of feeling, right? Green Bay has nothing but the Packers and cheese. And then you got Buffalo, you got nothing but the Bills and chicken wings. And I respect it, man. The very, very awesome hospitality that they showed me. And I ate a lot of wings, man. I'll tell you that much. Wow. And a very successful event. And I'm excited to be back in Buffalo. So shout out to the Bills fans and a little bit of Dolphins fans that came through. And we met some of our interns, which was awesome. So shout out to them. All right. Let's get into some Patreon callers. We got my man up next, Mr. NY Jets Indies in the house. What's good, bro?
Hey, what's up, Richie? Hey, Matt. I never catch you on stream.
What's going on, Indy? How are you?
Good to see you.
I'm doing okay, man. Good to see you, man. I had a question. Would you consider starting AZ Thomas over Stevens? I'm not saying next week, but within the next couple weeks, because I don't think Stevens is just. I think he just was just a bad pickup, and so I do, and I just would like to see. It doesn't seem like he's gonna get. He's gonna get any better. I think Sauce will be fine. I think we'll be fine. But I just wanted to know, would you consider maybe starting AZ Thomas to kind of mix things up, and my next, worry would be with this game coming up. I don't know. I mean, this is kind of a toss-up. I really don't like our defensive scheme going up against Miami because we've been struggling with getting home, and we can't tackle. So I hope that Tanner, I hope that Tanner like can get a little bit more creative with getting other guys involved and not just going for Garrett. Like try some screens, bunch our formations together, do some quicker passes to kind of loosen up, you know, them crowding the line of scrimmage. And then with Wilkes, I think he should mix up, disguise our coverages a little bit better. Like let Sauce travel. If you see Stevens covering, shade a safety over there or something. It just seems like they're kind of being a little bit stubborn in what they do, and I just wish they would kind of make some adjustments. But
Great points there, NY Jets Indy. Appreciate the
Yep.
call, my man.
appreciate it.
Appreciate you. What are your thoughts? What do you have to say there, Matt?
Yeah, I think that's a good call. AZ Thomas definitely. We're on AZ Thomas watch. It should happen at some point. It's very small sample size, but in the little bit he's played in the last 2 games, it looks like he belongs, right? Like he doesn't look like he's in over his head as a 3rd-round rookie. And Stevens has just been flat out bad. Like there's no way to sugarcoat it. I know that sounds really harsh, but I just don't have any other way to put it. And I know they paid him a bunch of money, but they are losing games. Not only because of Brandon Stevens, but it's them not being able to cover is a big issue, and they need to change something. So I'm all in for making the switch and going with AZ Thomas, and couldn't be more on point with Steve Wilkes. It's very vanilla, very obvious what the Jets are trying to do. There's really no creativity whatsoever, and that's got to change.
Yeah, I'm a big AZ Thomas fan. In the limited snaps he had, he looked pretty good. Only 10 snaps. He had some targets. He did not give up a catch. He was actually the highest graded Jet. That really tells you how bad we were because he had such a small sample size. That's why he was graded out so high, by the way. But yeah, like he said, we're not expecting it to happen now, but it's something that we're going to keep an eye on, especially if the season goes off the rails. But yeah, big AZ Thomas fan. Hopefully he can get on the field soon for sure. Next caller is a Bills fan. We got Andy Johnson up next. What's up, Andy? Welcome to the Jets Roundtable.
So I hear you're sick of Bill's arrogance. Well, we earned the right to be arrogant.
Well, I'm still sick
We
of
had
it, Andy.
17
That doesn't make me not sick of
Well,
it.
I had to deal with New England being cocky for 20 years. Now you get to listen to us be cocky for 20
But
years.
how did the Patriots arrogance make you feel? Were you sick of it or you enjoyed it?
Oh, I hated it every second.
Well, there
So
you go.
there you go. So what do you expect us
We
to do?
just
Like,
we
yeah,
just
like-
started being cocky. You got to wait 20 years. In 15 years, then you can say, you know what, I'm kind of sick of it. They've been having it a little too
Well,
long.
luckily for us, you're not the Patriots. You don't win Super Bowls, and you're not
Yes.
this
We're
whatever
going
you're
undefeated.
doing now is not going to last 15, 20
We're
years.
going
That's the good
undefeated.
thing. You're
We're
going
gonna
undefeated.
going undefeated, win the whole damn thing.
Oh, all right.
Just so Josh Allen can have that over Miami too.
Oh,
Okay.
over Miami. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's the truth.
Uh.
Now they want the undefeated season and win it so they can have that over Miami. That's what it is. They're always getting ahead. Well, Andy, I'll see you tonight on the roundtable. I appreciate you call and enjoy
Yeah.
your arrogance because
Oh, I will.
Yeah, you haven't.
I'm
You
rooting
have,
for you guys this week though, because bury Miami. Fuck them.
oh yeah, there we go. You're on our side this week. Let's go,
I'll
Andy.
take that.
All right, Andy. Thanks for the call. Andy is a longtime follower of Roundtable Sports, Bills fan, Jets media. Shout out to Andy. He's not afraid to get passionate with us, Matt.
No, yeah, and look, he was honest, and I did appreciate at the end. It seems like he's gonna root for the Jets a little bit this week, so I'll take that.
He definitely has something against TD. You know, that's the real reason. I mean, he has something against me, but I'm assuming he has something a little bit more against TD. At least or that's just me assuming. But appreciate everybody tuning into this show, man. We're gonna save the Dolphins preview for next week. Not next week, this Thursday show. But Matt, going back into this game, there is a narrative around the Jets that I wanted to talk to you about. Get your thoughts of it. Everyone's hating on Aaron Glenn for dancing on the sideline and clapping after the loss and being a little bit upbeat in the press conferences. What is your thoughts of Aaron Glenn doing these things? Do you have a problem with Aaron Glenn celebrating a Will McDonald blocked field goal and returning for a touchdown? Do you have a problem with Aaron Glenn clapping after the game is over, after a loss? What's your thoughts, Mr. Matt O'Leary?
It's just so funny that Jet fans are so critical of Robert Saleh for not showing any emotion on the sideline, and then Aaron Glenn gets pumped up after a big play. It's like, oh well, you still lost the game after that. Well, like The guy, he's fighting to get his first win in the NFL, and one of his star defensive players just made a monster play to give them the lead late in a game they never really led for most of it, right? Like, he's allowed to be excited over it. And the clapping thing at the end, no one knows what he was clapping about. I don't think he's given Steve Wilkes the standing ovation clapping. Yeah, good job. Defense just let up a game sealing drive to the Tampa Bay Bucs. Dude, some fans just have to find a way to be mad about everything with this. It's really remarkable.
It's become the identity of us as Jets fans. I've realizing, because we're so bad and we've been so bad for so long that I think being bad fuels some Jets fans, that it becomes who they are. So, like, they rather, I don't know. I agree with everything you said. What's wrong with Aaron Glenn celebrating? I mean, what do you want him to be, a robot and just be like straight face, just no big deal? Even though, I mean, it's just ridiculous how we're nitpicking Aaron Glenn being like emphatic and passionate on the sideline. Now, him clapping after the game, this is my stance on it. Like, I honestly think, and listen, we don't have no idea if Aaron Glenn's ever going to figure this thing out and he's going to be the guy, if he's going to earn a second contract or something like that, right? But in my opinion, Matt, he is staring 0-3 in the face. What would you rather Aaron Glenn do? Embrace the same old Jets, embrace the negativity that the fans and the media puts on it, and, like, let it seep in? And, like, say, yeah, we are the same old Jets guys, and, Steve Wilkes sucks, and there's nothing good here. Is that what you want our coach to do? He's not a fan. He's not a media member. He needs to be positive. If he's not positive, you might as well already, like, fire the guy. That's my stance of it, man. Yes, of course, what he's going to say is not what the fans want to hear, but he's not talking to us. He's not talking to the media. He's talking to the players. He's talking to his coaches. He is trying to focus on what worked, because what worked in that fourth quarter could win you games if you can stretch that out to a full 4 quarters. That's what he's going to focus on. And he's going to nit the bad things that happened in the butt and hold everybody accountable behind closed doors. That's my perspective, Matt. Yep. That's why I think him clapping after the game is not a big deal, man. He needs to spark this team because he's feeling the pressure now, no doubt. It's loud in New York City when you lose 3 games straight to open up the season. But he lost 3 games to 3 playoff teams. The Jets got 3 playoff teams remaining on their schedule. So this is where Aaron Glenn's on the clock now for me. When you start going up against inferior opponents, he's not went up against one team that's inferior. We've been underdogs in all 3 games, and that's no excuse, of course, but it's just the reality of the situation. We got our first real winnable game. Week 1 was winnable, yes, of course. But this game against the Dolphins is going to tell me all I need to know about this team. It's either we're going to be a 2 or 3 win team, or we're actually going to be like competitive 5, 6, 7 wins or something like that. But what are your thoughts about that, man? Aaron Glenn is going the positive route.
Yeah, I think you're right. And if it was only the clapping at the end and only the celebrating in the big moments, that'd be one thing. But there was also the video of him like screaming at Arian Smith for his mistake too. He's an intense guy, and like he's not going to turn that off when times are going bad. He's going to be himself throughout, which I think is what you want for the head coach. And eventually when they do win a game, it's going to start to turn. And this is a really big week. I know we're saving the preview for Thursday, and I won't really get into the Miami game specifically. But you look at their games before the bye week, you have 5 games against Miami, Dallas, who's an abomination, Denver in London, and then you have the Panthers and the Bengals without Joe Burrow, who lost 41-3 to 2025 version of Carson Wentz, which is nuts. Can you win 3 of those 5 games and be 3-5 at the bye and give yourself like a chance to be okay in the second half of the year? Or can you, right? Like you're 0-3 right now. Can you go 7-7 over your final 14 games and finish 7-10? I know we're not going to throw a parade over a 7-10 season, but I think it's really about how this Jets team finishes this year. I think we're overanalyzing 3 games into a new regime. It's got to be how they close the year and look over the entirety of a 17-game season.
So you're telling me you don't want to fire Aaron Glenn and then give the next coach next year 3 games to prove himself, and he's 0-3, and then fire him and then do it again and again and just keep firing people after every 3? Is that what we want? You don't want to do that, Matt? Yeah, that doesn't sound like a recipe for success long term.
No, I don't. And I'm also not saying give the guy 10 years. Like, I don't know. Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh got a reasonable amount of time. Robert Saleh got into year 4. Joe Douglas was here 6 years. It didn't work out and they moved on. I think Aaron Glenn, who was a player here and was the only guy who was like, I want to be the head coach of the Jets. This is my dream job. I think he deserves more than 3 games. Maybe a hot take, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, ridiculous. Like the people that just want to just write off Glenn and just hate him. The guy wanted this job. Do you know how rare that is? That we have a guy that's like, that's my dream job. That should inspire you to absolutely get behind this guy during adversity. And this is not just Jets fans, it's New York fans. Right when there's things going the wrong way, we boo everything. Knicks fans are that way, Mets fans, Yankees fans. I mean, it's just the way that it is. It's the way the New York City works, man. We demand excellence, and we don't see it, we'll boo them. But if you're a Jets fan, you're just ready to write off Aaron Glenn right away. Like, give me a freaking break, bro. Just absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. And that's not guarantee he's going to figure it out, but at least give the guy an opportunity. I mean, what are we doing? What are we absolutely doing? Yeah, let's just fire the guy and then just hire another one in the offseason and then give him 3 games. Miss me with all of that nonsense. And the people that want to tank as well, oh, don't even get me started with the tank talk, Matt. We're not even going to go there. Because now that we're the first pick, according to Tankathon, it's spoiling our brains. Not mine, but it's spoiling the brains of tank people that we have to tank now. That doesn't mean anything because first overall picks does not guarantee you anything in this sport. But it's just beyond frustrating, man. And this is the reality of it as Jets fans. We just got to weather the storm as much as we possibly can.
So you are not looking at Tankathon right now and being like, oh, the Jets have the number 1 pick. They're in a great spot.
I see it all over X, and I'm just like, can't stand it. And I got people talking to me about quarterbacks. Yeah, we'll talk quarterbacks. I'm watching the quarterbacks in college. Yes, I'm keeping an eye on them, but I'm not focusing on it now on September 22nd. Okay, I'm not doing just that. And I just feel like, you know, this fan base, man, it tells me a lot about the identity of who we are. And I think the losing has gotten us to a point where it's really, really bad right now. And the only thing that's going to happen is winning cures it all. Winning cures everything. And that's how I look at it. So to that, we look at Aaron Glenn and we ask him, is he going to be able to do it? So what is your expectations moving forward, Matt? Like, because you look at the schedule, like you mentioned, is there anything you saw in that fourth quarter that gives you some type of hope? Like, not like we're going to go on a crazy run or anything. But, and also another big question is the quarterback position. What are we doing? If Justin Fields is cleared, is he starting? I would assume so.
Yeah, I think so.
So how would you evaluate what you saw? Can they take that fourth quarter and stretch it out into a legit full game of dominance, man? Because that's what I want to see.
Well, in 2 of their first 3 games, they had a lead in the fourth quarter, and they haven't been able to close it out. I think the Jets need to learn how to win, and it's an NFL cliche for teams and new regimes where they have to learn how to win. And unfortunately, they're not really at that point right now. That's something I'm sure there'll be times throughout the season where they have leads in the fourth quarter going on for the rest of the season. The next step is to figure out, okay, we have the lead. What do we do? Offense, keeps the foot on the gas. Defense gets a stop finally. That has to happen. And, I will say that it's not a moral victory. I'm bummed that they're 0-3, but they didn't roll over and die. And you have to take that mentality and give that all 17 games. I don't want to see any other games like the Buffalo game this year where it was over in the first quarter. They need to be more consistent, and they need to learn how to finish games. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like the tank thing makes no sense, man. You got to learn how to win, and the way you learn how to win is by winning. And I think that at the end of the day, you can play such a great game and still lose, and that will not mean anything. Right? You have to learn to win. And the Jets had a chance to win, and they failed in the fourth quarter. And it was all on this defense. It really was. Like, when you're presented an opportunity with a lead to protect, that was the time. Like, as much as Will McDonald had that miracle play, but imagine if Will McDonald had a strip sack on that last drive and won the game that way. It's just, it's so frustrating, man. They got to learn how to win games. You felt that against Pittsburgh. So now the Jets are 0-3, Matt. 3 losses against 3 playoff teams from last year. And now the Dallas Cowboys, they look pretty vulnerable. I mean, I'm not going to say the Jets going to win that game because we look trash, of course. But you look at the Dolphins game, the Cowboys, and then we're going up against Denver in London. We have 3 playoff teams from last year remaining on our schedule. Denver, Baltimore, and the Bills at the end of the season. I mean, the schedule definitely lightens up, but will the Jets actually take advantage of it or no?
They have to. They have to. And that's why, when I rattled off the 5 games remaining before the bye week, I would like to see them take 3 of those 5. And, hopefully one of them's this week. I don't want to start 0-4. I think this team needs a win. And then you feel okay. You're going home against the Cowboys, who they're going to be without CeeDee Lamb, and their defense can't stop anybody. Can they find a way to steal a game at home? And then you're at 2-3. And I think the London game, and I don't want to look too far ahead, but Denver, I think, is a bad matchup for the Jets. That's not one where I'm really looking at and thinking the Jets will have a good chance to win it. But yeah, there's going to be there's going to be games on the schedule that are winnable. They're not going to win every single one, but show me that you can take the next step and finish a game. That's kind of what I'm looking at. This is an evaluation year. You want to finish, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier too. Like, it's really more about how they finish than how they start this year for me.
And I'm happy you said that. This is the lay the foundation year. And there's something else that we need to realize about Aaron Glenn. For the people that want to just throw him to the side of the road already. 10-15% of this roster is his. This is an inherited team still. And yes, he brought in a new quarterback. He signed Garrett long-term and Sauce long-term. He signed Josh Reynolds. He signed whoever they did, and Andre Sisco, Brandon Stevens in free agency. You have 1 draft class, but this regime needs 2 or 3 off seasons before they can get their guys in the building. That's how we're going to evaluate. They're going to not bring back a lot of players. Like, Breece Hall is not going to be here next year, in my opinion. Quincy Williams, he's in a contract year. Who knows if he's going to be here next year. They paid Jamie Sherwood, and he looks pretty bad, not going to lie, which hurts me to say that. But you got to give this coaching staff and you got to give this front office an opportunity to get their guys in the building because they don't have that just yet. So that's another thing that we have to allow some time for. And Jets fans don't want to hear it, but that takes time and patience because, unfortunately, you got to have 2 or 3 off seasons, which requires 3 years to get their roster built out their way. It's still inherited of Joe Douglas.
Yeah, it is. That's a good point. They are working with some of the scraps and some of the roster decisions that were made by previous regimes. Although, at the same time, and I don't disagree with you, by the way, but to just give a different perspective, one of the guys that they spent big money on in free agency this offseason was Brandon Stevens, and that looks like a massive swing and a miss early.
Oh, no, 100%. I mean, the guys that they're bringing in the first offseason have not been anything. The free agency class, I mean, not impressive. Justin Fields, we'll see what he can do when he comes back. But Andre Sisco has not been anything. He's on a 1-year deal. Stevens, can they get out of that deal? Like, where's the guarantees in it?
After year 2, they can. So they got to eat it for another year. But I don't really give a shit about the money. I would rather just play AZ Thomas if he's going to play the way that he has so far through the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's going to be up to that. And, like, what's your expectations for Justin Fields? Because this is one of those things that is mind-blowing. Justin Fields, Matt, his first game as a Jet was arguably his best game of his career in a loss. And then week 2 was arguably his worst game of his career. Can you get on different, like, opposite sides of the spectrum more than that?
No. Honestly,
so what are we expecting from Fields? Can he find a middle ground? Or is he always going to be excellent or just terrible? Like, what is your expectation of Justin Fields if he returns this week and just in general whenever he returns?
I don't think he's as bad as what he was against Buffalo. I also think that from a consistency level, I don't think he's as good as what he was in week 1 either. He's probably somewhere in between. Unfortunately, though, throughout his career, there's been a lot of moments where he goes through stretches where he looks really good and like he could be the answer, and then he has a few games where he's completing 30% of his passes and under 100 yards passing. And it's going to be very hard to win that way. I think it's just going to be a bumpy road for Fields. And that's part of the reason, why I thought they were, roughly a 7-win team this year, because their quarterback's inconsistent, and it's very hard to win in this league when you don't have a consistent quarterback.
Yeah, it's really weird because I was at that game, bro. You were at that game.
Yeah.
We witnessed Justin Fields against the Steelers. I don't know about you, Matt, but being at that game, I was looking around at the people I was sitting with. I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
This isn't the guy I saw in training camp. Like, this guy looks unbelievable. Like, if this can be who Justin Fields is for the season, we got something. Do you remember the high that we were on that week, even though we lost? It wasn't a moral victory. It was just because of how good Fields looked. Because we're all like, if Fields can do that, we are a legit team. But the Bills saw what happened, and they had a perfect game plan to exploit him. And I think that's another thing. There was an unknown element heading into week 1 that the Steelers could not game plan for. And now that there was film to study, the Buffalo Bills saw what worked and shut it down. They run blitz perfectly. They forced Fields to beat him with his arm, and he wasn't able to. So, I don't know, man. I really hope Fields is healthy week 4 against the Dolphins, because I think that it's going to be a big game, prime time. The Dolphins are wearing their new uniforms, I believe.
That's right.
The whole world's watching. And if the Jets can go into Miami and win that game, it is going to change the season for the better. I really believe that. If they lose, they're in the basement, and it's going to be one of those seasons, man.
Yeah, I don't want it to go off the rails this early. I'm not ready for that yet at this point, so I'm really, really
It
hoping.
already feels like it has.
Yeah, it does to an extent, but I'm not ready to go all the way there. So please find a way to win this game.
That's all we ask, man. And for bragging rights for TD, man, I just want to beat the Dolphins more than any other team. You know what I mean? Like, he's got we're talking about bragging rights, man. I can't deal with it. But we got all week to talk about it on my channel and on Matt's channel, and we're gonna be back here on Thursday to go deeper into the Jets and the Dolphins preview segment. All right, maybe we can ask TD if he's free to join the preview segment this week on the Jets Roundtable. That would be fun. But Matt, the Jets are 0-3, and we are down bad. But better days are ahead. Anything you want to say to the people before we wrap things up, my man?
Keep your heads held high. That's all I got for this week.
Come on. Keep your heads held high, everybody. That's what it's all about. If you don't keep your head held high, then expect nothing to come in a positive way in your favor. So with that, hit the like button, folks. Jets Roundtable's out. The AFC East Roundtable is live at 6 p.m. tonight. We'll see you guys then. Peace out, and go check out Matt O'Leary's YouTube channel, link in the description, and we'll see you next time. Peace.